Hello and welcome back to Job Carr Cabin Museum. Today we're talking all about cameras and photography. So a lot of kids who come to visit me at the museum are curious about all of the pictures that they see around this space. And they often ask me, why aren't the people in those pictures smiling? They're not saying cheese. So let's find out a little more about that. We are very lucky here at the museum to have lots of great pictures of the Carr family and of what the area looked like when Tacoma was first getting started back in the 1860s and 1870s. And the reason for that is because Anthony Carr, Job Carr's oldest son, was a professional photographer. You can see him here with his big mustache. And when Anthony arrived here in 1865, he soon set up a photography studio and started taking pictures. Now this is the kind of camera that Anthony might have used back then. And you'll see that in some ways it looks like a modern camera, like a professional photographer might use, but in other ways it looks very different, and it works quite a bit differently than a digital camera that we use nowadays as well. So this camera, obviously it can't fit in your pocket. It is not attached to a cell phone. Telephones were not even invented yet. So it cannot email or text a picture to your friends. And the pictures that it takes, you'll notice, are not color. So they are in black and white or brown and white because they hadn't quite figured out the technology yet of how to capture the colors in the photographs. To take a picture, the photographer would stand on the back side of the camera here, and you'll notice that this is mounted on a tripod to hold it steady because it's a pretty heavy camera. And then the person having their picture taken would stand on this side of the lens here. And the photographer would use glass plates like this to take pictures. This would slide into the camera back here, and the photographer would expose light onto the glass plate. And you'll notice that this negative, the colors are backwards. Things that should be dark are light, and things that should be light are showing up really dark in this picture. Well, once the picture was taken and complete, the photographer would take this glass plate back to their studio and put it in some special chemicals and wash it around in those, and then they would be able to transfer the picture onto paper, like the photo that we have here of Job Carr standing in front of his cabin in 1867. So finally, it's true that the people in these pictures are not smiling, and it's not because they're angry or grumpy. It's because they're trying really hard to hold still. So these kind of cameras, each picture would take about 60 seconds. And if you wiggled or moved while your picture was being taken, it would be blurry and you would have to start all over again. So it's much easier to hold still with a serious face than to try and hold still for a whole minute with a smile. Once camera technology improved and they were able to take pictures more quickly in the 1920s and 30s, that's when people started to say cheese to have their picture taken. So I challenge you to try the 60-second photo challenge at home. After you watch this video, set a timer for 1 minute and see if you can hold still for a whole 60 seconds. It's pretty tricky, but I think you can do it. Give it a try.